Julia woke up that autumn morning with the sun streaming through the window of her downtown apartment. The aroma of fresh coffee filled the air as she prepared for another day of work at the fashion magazine where she was the editor-in-chief. Her life, at 30 Étoiles, seemed perfectly aligned. The city outside her window buzzed with life, a reflection of her own vibrant routine, and she felt a deep sense of contentment. She donned her favorite suit, a gift from her best friend Lara, who always said that color brought out her eyes. Lara was a constant presence in Julia's life, a friendship that had blossomed since college. They shared secrets, laughter, and dreams, and Lara was the sister Julia never had. Their bond was forged in late-night study sessions and shared aspirations, a testament to their enduring connection. Julia often marveled at how their lives had intertwined so seamlessly, creating a tapestry of shared experiences. That morning, as Julia descended the stairs of her building, she received a message from Lara. "Lunch today? I have news." Julia smiled, already curious about what Lara had to share. Lara's social life was always full of surprises and fascinating stories. Her tales of adventure and encounters often left Julia both entertained and envious, sparking a sense of wonder about the world beyond her structured life. Lara had a way of making every moment feel like an adventure, and Julia cherished these glimpses into her friend's vibrant world. Upon arriving at the magazine, Julia was greeted by the usual buzz of the newsroom. She loved the energy of the place, the pages taking shape under her supervision. The scent of fresh ink and the hum of printers were comforting reminders of her role in the creative process. Marcos, her boyfriend and colleague, passed by her desk, giving her a knowing smile. They had been together for 2 years, and although the relationship was steady, Julia felt something deeper was on the horizon. Their shared glances and subtle gestures spoke volumes of their unspoken connection. Marcos was a steady presence in her life, his quiet strength balancing her more impulsive nature. The day passed quickly between meetings and deadlines. During lunch with Lara, they talked about everything from Lara's latest trip to Julia's plans for the future. Lara was radiant, her eyes sparkling with excitement as she recounted her adventures. But Julia noticed a different gleam in her eyes, as if there was something she wasn't saying. "I'll tell you later," Lara said mysteriously, leaving Julia even more intrigued. The suspense lingered in the air, a tantalizing hint of what was to come. Julia found herself replaying the conversation in her mind, wondering what secrets Lara might be holding. That night, back at her apartment, Julia reflected on the day as she prepared dinner. She felt grateful to have Lara in her life, a job she loved, and to share her days with Marcos. Everything seemed in its rightful place, and she couldn't imagine that soon her life would take an unexpected turn. The calmness of the evening enveloped her, a stark contrast to the storm that was silently brewing. The news of Lara's death arrived like thunder in a clear sky. Julia was in the middle of a meeting when she received the call from Anna, Lara's mother. The trembling voice on the other end of the line confirmed what Julia didn't want to believe. Lara had suffered a fatal car accident the night before. The shock rippled through her, leaving her numb and disoriented. It felt as though time had stopped, and the vibrant world she knew had suddenly lost its color. The funeral took place 2 days later, on a cold and cloudy morning. Julia was there, surrounded by Lara's friends and family, but she felt strangely isolated. Memories of moments shared with Lara played through her mind like a movie, each scene more painful than the last. The laughter, the shared secrets, now felt like echoes of a distant past. Julia struggled to comprehend a world without Lara, her mind refusing to accept the finality of it all. Marcos was by her side, offering silent support. Julia could barely speak, her heart heavy with the sudden loss. The weight of grief was suffocating, a relentless reminder of Lara's absence. After the ceremony, as people dispersed, a lawyer approached Julia, handing her a sealed envelope. "Lara left this for you," he said, before walking away. The envelope was a tangible connection to Lara, a final gift wrapped in mystery. Julia's hands shook as she held it, the weight of its contents pressing down on her heart. The envelope weighed in her hands, and Julia felt a mix of curiosity and fear. What could Lara have written? She placed the envelope in her bag, determined to open it when she was alone, away from the emotional tumult of the moment. The anticipation gnawed at her, a persistent whisper of the unknown. As she left the cemetery, Julia felt a flicker of hope amidst her sorrow, a promise of answers waiting to be uncovered. Back at her apartment, Julia sat at her kitchen table with the envelope in front of her. The silence around her was almost deafening, a stark contrast to the chaos in her mind. With trembling hands, she broke the seal and pulled out a handwritten letter, immediately recognizing Lara's unmistakable handwriting. The familiar loops and swirls were a comforting sight amidst the turmoil. Julia took a deep breath, bracing herself for whatever revelations lay within. "Dear Julia," the letter began, "if you're reading this, it means I'm no longer with you. There are things I need to tell you, secrets I've hidden for a long time." The words seemed to leap off the page, each sentence a revelation, a confession. Julia's heart pounded in her chest as she read, each line pulling her deeper into Lara's world. With each line, Julia's heart beat faster. Lara confessed to having had a secret relationship with someone close to Julia, something she had never suspected. The betrayal was deep, and the shock of the revelations made Julia feel as if the ground had disappeared beneath her feet. Her world, once stable and predictable, was now teetering on the edge of chaos. The sense of betrayal cut deep, leaving a wound that throbbed with every word. Lara's words were an apology and an attempt to explain her actions, but Julia felt lost and betrayed. The letter ended with a plea for forgiveness and a promise that there was more to be discovered. Lara had left clues about where Julia could find more answers. The letter was both a burden and a beacon, guiding Julia toward the truth. It was a call to action, a challenge to uncover the secrets that had been hidden for so long. Julia closed her eyes, trying to process the avalanche of emotions. The pain of losing Lara now mingled with the pain of betrayal, and she knew she couldn't rest until she understood the whole truth. The path ahead was uncertain, but Julia was determined to uncover every secret, every hidden corner of Lara's life. With renewed determination, she resolved to follow the trail Lara had left, no matter where it might lead. Determined to follow the clues left by Lara, Julia began her search for answers. The first clue led her to a cafe they used to frequent together. There, she found a key left by Lara with a note. "For our favorite place." The familiar surroundings brought a rush of memories, each one tinged with bittersweet nostalgia. The cafe was a sanctuary, a place where they had shared dreams and fears, and Julia felt Lara's presence in every corner. The favorite place was a small apartment Lara used as an art studio. Julia hadn't been there in years, but upon entering, she was greeted by the familiar scent of paint and unfinished canvases. The room was a chaotic symphony of colors and textures, a testament to Lara's creative spirit. Among the paintings, she found a diary that belonged to Lara, with entries dating back years. The studio was a treasure trove of memories, each brushstroke a reminder of Lara's passion and talent. Flipping through the diary, Julia read about Lara's conflicting feelings, her insecurities, and the internal struggle she faced in keeping secrets. The reading was painful, but Julia began to understand the complexity of Lara's choices. Each entry was a glimpse into Lara's soul, a window into her fears and desires. The diary was a map of Lara's inner world, each page a step closer to understanding her friend's hidden life. Each page revealed a little more about Lara's secret life and the reasons behind her actions. Julia realized that to find peace, she would need to confront not only Lara's truths, but also her own. The journey was as much about self-discovery as it was about uncovering the past. With each revelation, Julia felt a growing sense of empathy for Lara, a recognition of the struggles they both faced. With the revelations from the letter and diary still fresh in her mind, Julia felt the need to share everything with Marcos. They met at her apartment that night. She knew the conversation wouldn't be easy, but she needed clarity and perhaps some support. The air was thick with tension, a palpable sense of anticipation. Julia's heart raced as she prepared to lay bare the secrets that had been thrust upon her. Marcos listened in silence as Julia recounted the discoveries. His expression shifted from surprise to disbelief, and finally to a heavy silence. "I didn't know about any of this," he said, visibly shaken. Lara never mentioned anything. His voice was a mix of confusion and hurt, mirroring Julia's own turmoil. The revelation had caught him off guard, leaving him reeling from the implications. Julia wanted to believe him, but doubts lingered. The emotional distance between them seemed to grow with each unspoken word. Marcos, unable to handle the emotional complexity of the situation, opted to step back temporarily. "We need time to process this," he suggested before leaving. His departure left a void, a silence that echoed through the room. Julia felt a pang of loneliness, the weight of the secrets pressing down on her shoulders. Julia was left alone, feeling more isolated than ever. Lara's betrayal now threatened to destroy her relationship with Marcos, and she wondered if she would ever be able to trust again. The future, once bright and full of promise, now seemed shrouded in uncertainty. As she sat in the dim light of her apartment, Julia resolved to find a way through the darkness, determined to rebuild the trust that had been shattered. The next day, Julia decided to visit her mother, Anna, in search of comfort, and perhaps some wisdom. Anna welcomed her with a warm hug, immediately sensing that something was wrong. Her embrace was a balm, a reminder of unconditional love and support. Julia felt a wave of relief wash over her, grateful for the sanctuary her mother provided. As they sipped tea in the kitchen, Julia recounted everything about Lara, the letter, and the diary. Anna listened attentively, without interrupting, and when Julia finished, she spoke with a calmness that only years could bring. "People make mistakes, Julia. Sometimes out of fear, other times out of love. Lara was your friend, and even with her mistakes, she loved you." Her words were a lifeline, a gentle nudge toward understanding and forgiveness. Anna's wisdom was a guiding light, illuminating the path toward healing. Anna revealed that she knew some of Lara's secrets, but had never mentioned them to protect Julia. She encouraged her daughter to seek the truth, but also to find room in her heart for forgiveness. "Forgiving isn't forgetting, but it's freeing yourself from the weight of pain," Anna advised. Her wisdom was a guiding light, illuminating the path toward healing. Julia felt a sense of peace settle over her, a newfound clarity that allowed her to see beyond the pain. Julia left her mother's house feeling a bit lighter, determined to continue her search for answers, but now with a new perspective on forgiveness. The conversation had planted a seed of hope, a belief that reconciliation was possible. As she walked home, Julia felt a renewed sense of purpose, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. Back at Lara's studio, Julia delved into the diary once more, this time with an open mind and a heart willing to understand. The pages revealed more about Lara's feelings, her insecurities, and the pressure she felt to maintain appearances. Each entry was a testament to Lara's vulnerability, a candid confession of her struggles. Julia felt a deep sense of empathy for her friend, recognizing the courage it took to confront her demons. Lara wrote about the love she felt for Julia, and the fear of losing her friendship if the truth came out. She also confessed her own regrets and the wish that she had been more honest. Her words were a poignant reminder of the complexity of human relationships, the delicate balance between truth and protection. Julia felt a pang of regret for the misunderstandings that had clouded their friendship, a longing to bridge the gap that had grown between them. Julia began to see Lara not just as a betrayer, but as a friend who struggled with her own demons. The diary also mentioned a meeting Lara had with someone from Julia's past, something that could be the key to fully understanding the situation. The revelation was a turning point, a new lead in the tangled web of secrets. Julia felt a surge of determination, ready to follow the trail that Lara had left behind. Determined to follow this new lead, Julia realized she was closer to finding the answers she needed, and in doing so, she might also find a path to healing. The journey was far from over, but Julia was ready to face whatever lay ahead. With each revelation, she felt a growing sense of empowerment, a belief that she could overcome the challenges that lay ahead. Determined to follow the new lead left by Lara, Julia traveled to the town where they grew up. The place was filled with memories of childhood and adolescence, and every corner seemed to whisper secrets of the past. The familiar streets and landmarks were both comforting and haunting, a reminder of the innocence and complexity of youth. Julia felt a sense of nostalgia wash over her, a longing for the simplicity of days gone by. The lead took her to an old cafe they used to frequent. It was a place where they spent hours talking and dreaming about the future. Julia entered, feeling a mix of nostalgia and apprehension. The cafe was almost empty, except for a familiar figure sitting in a corner. The atmosphere was warm and inviting, a sanctuary from the outside world. It was Lucas, a childhood friend who had moved away years ago. He looked surprised to see her, but soon a warm smile lit up his face. "Julia, it's been so long," he exclaimed, standing up to greet her. His presence was a welcome surprise, a link to a simpler time. Julia felt a rush of warmth as she embraced him, grateful for the connection they shared. They sat down and began to talk, reminiscing about old times. Lucas revealed that he had met with Lara a few weeks before her death. Lara had been restless, mentioning that she needed to resolve something from the past. "She seemed worried but didn't go into details," Lucas said. His words were a puzzle piece, a clue to the mystery that had consumed Julia. She felt a surge of determination, ready to uncover the truth that had eluded her for so long. Julia felt she was getting closer to the truth. Lucas mentioned that Lara had talked about an important meeting with someone Julia knew well, but didn't reveal who it was. This left Julia even more intrigued, but also determined to find out who this mysterious person was. The conversation reignited her determination, a renewed sense of purpose. Julia felt a sense of clarity settle over her, a belief that she was on the right path. The conversation with Lucas brought up memories and feelings that Julia had buried. She realized that to move forward, she needed to confront not only Lara's truths, but also her own. The past was a tapestry of intertwined stories, each thread contributing to the present. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. With new information in hand, Julia prepared to return to the city. She knew that the next step would be crucial in unraveling the mystery Lara had left behind. The journey was far from over, but Julia was ready to face whatever lay ahead. She felt a sense of hope and anticipation, eager to uncover the truth that had been hidden for so long. Back in her city, Julia felt more determined than ever to unravel the mystery Lara had left. Lucas's words echoed in her mind, and she knew she needed to identify the person Lara had met before her death. The search for truth was a relentless pursuit, a quest for closure and understanding. Julia felt a sense of urgency, driven by the need to uncover the secrets that had been hidden for so long. Julia revisited Lara's diary, searching for any clue she might have overlooked. In one of the last pages, she found a note about a meeting with an old friend. The name wasn't mentioned, but the description of the conversation seemed familiar. The pieces of the puzzle were slowly falling into place, each revelation bringing her closer to the truth. Julia felt a sense of anticipation, ready to uncover the secrets that had eluded her for so long. Decided to follow this new lead, Julia began contacting people from the past, mutual friends who might have information about this mysterious meeting. It was then that she received a message from Anna, her mother, saying she needed to talk urgently. Julia felt a sense of apprehension, unsure of what her mother might reveal. Upon arriving at Anna's house, Julia was greeted with a serious expression. Anna revealed that Lara had met with her shortly before dying. Initially, Anna hesitated to tell Julia, fearing it would add to her pain, but now felt it was crucial. Her revelation was a catalyst, a turning point in Julia's journey. Julia felt a sense of dread settle over her, unsure of what her mother might reveal. Lara was worried about something that happened a long time ago. "Something that involved your family, Julia," Anna said, her voice soft but firm. "She mentioned a secret that could affect you deeply." Her words were a bombshell, a revelation that shook Julia to her core. Julia felt a sense of disbelief, struggling to comprehend the implications of her mother's words. Julia was stunned. Her mind raced, trying to piece together the puzzle. Anna continued, revealing that Lara believed Julia had a brother she never knew, the result of a past relationship of her father. This was the truth Lara had tried to protect, but now needed to be confronted. The revelation was both a shock and a relief, a long-hidden truth finally coming to light. Julia felt a sense of clarity settle over her, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. The revelation was a shock to Julia, who felt the ground disappear beneath her feet once more. However, along with the pain came a strange sense of relief. Finally, the truth was in sight, and she could begin to deal with the consequences. The path ahead was uncertain, but Julia was ready to face whatever lay ahead. She felt a sense of empowerment, ready to uncover the secrets that had been hidden for so long. Determined to find her brother and fully understand her family's history, Julia knew the road ahead would be challenging, but also liberating. With Anna's help, she was ready to face whatever came next. The journey was far from over, but Julia was ready to face whatever lay ahead. She felt a sense of hope and anticipation, eager to uncover the truth that had been hidden for so long. The revelation about the existence of an unknown brother left Julia in a whirlwind of emotions. The discovery shook her world, but it also brought an unexpected clarity. For the first time in weeks, she felt she was beginning to understand what Lara had tried to protect. The truth was a double-edged sword, both painful and liberating. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. Julia spent days reflecting on what she had discovered. The pain of betrayal and the loss of Lara were still present, but now there was a new perspective. Lara, even in her mistakes, had tried to protect Julia from a painful truth. This required a kind of courage that Julia was beginning to understand. The journey toward forgiveness was a winding path, filled with obstacles and revelations. Julia felt a sense of clarity settle over her, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. Determined to move forward, Julia decided she needed to forgive Lara. Not just for Lara, but for herself. Carrying the weight of bitterness and distrust would not help her find peace. She knew that forgiveness wouldn't erase the past, but it could open the way for a lighter future. The decision was both daunting and empowering, a step toward healing and reconciliation. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. On a sunny afternoon, Julia went to Lara's art studio, a place filled with memories and creative energy. There, surrounded by her friend's unfinished works, she allowed herself to feel Lara's presence and, in a symbolic act, spoke aloud. "I forgive you, Lara." Her words were a release, a cathartic moment of acceptance and understanding. Julia felt a sense of peace settle over her, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. With tears in her eyes, Julia felt a weight lift from her shoulders. Forgiveness was just the first step, but it was essential. She knew there was still much to be done, including finding her brother and facing the complexities of her family. However, by forgiving Lara, Julia made room for love and understanding in her heart. The decision marked the beginning of a new chapter, a fresh start filled with hope and possibility. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. The decision to forgive marked the beginning of a new phase in her life. Julia was determined to rebuild her relationships, starting with Marcos. She knew their love still had potential, and she was willing to fight for it. The path to reconciliation was fraught with challenges, but Julia was ready to face them head-on. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. With a renewed sense of purpose, Julia prepared for what lay ahead, knowing that although the path was uncertain, she was no longer alone. The journey was far from over, but Julia was ready to face whatever lay ahead. She felt a sense of hope and anticipation, eager to uncover the truth that had been hidden for so long. With the decision to forgive Lara firm in her heart, Julia focused on rebuilding the bridges that had been shaken by the revelations. The first step would be reconnecting with Marcos, hoping that the love they shared could overcome the recent difficulties. The journey toward reconciliation was a delicate dance, a careful balance of vulnerability and strength. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. Julia invited Marcos for dinner at her apartment, wanting an intimate setting where they could talk openly. When he arrived, the tension in the air was palpable, but Julia was determined to dispel it with honesty and vulnerability. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation, a mix of hope and uncertainty. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. "Marcos, I want us to be honest with each other," Julia began, looking into his eyes. "I know things got complicated, but I believe we can still find a way together." Her words were a plea, a heartfelt invitation to rebuild what had been broken. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. Marcos, visibly relieved, held her hand. "Julia, I want that too. I'm sorry for pulling away. I was confused, but I never stopped loving you." His words were a balm, a promise of renewed commitment and understanding. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. The conversation flowed naturally from there, with both sharing their insecurities and hopes. Julia spoke about the forgiveness she was cultivating and the search for her brother. Marcos, in turn, promised to support Julia on her journey, reaffirming his commitment to their relationship. Their dialogue was a bridge, a connection that spanned the chasm of misunderstanding and hurt. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. With trust restored, Julia felt that a new phase was beginning. She knew the road ahead would still have challenges, but she was ready to face them with Marcos by her side. Their relationship was a tapestry of shared experiences, each thread woven with care and intention. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. In addition to Marcos, Julia also decided to strengthen other relationships in her life. She spent more time with Anna, rediscovering the special connection they always had. Anna, in turn, offered unconditional support to her daughter, helping her prepare to find her brother. Their bond was a source of strength, a reminder of the power of family and love. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. Julia realized that by rebuilding these bridges, she was not only healing old wounds, but also creating a more solid and love-filled future. With each step, she felt stronger and more connected to the people who truly mattered. Her journey was one of growth and transformation, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. With a renewed and hopeful heart, Julia was ready to move forward, knowing that despite the uncertainties, she was no longer alone. The journey was far from over, but Julia was ready to face whatever lay ahead. She felt a sense of hope and anticipation, eager to uncover the truth that had been hidden for so long. With her personal relationships in the process of rebuilding, Julia turned her attention to her professional and personal life, determined to apply the lessons learned from Lara in all aspects of her life. She dedicated herself to new projects at the fashion magazine, bringing a renewed and more authentic perspective to her work. Her creativity was a wellspring of ideas, each one a reflection of her evolving identity. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. In the editorial office, Julia began implementing ideas she had long wanted to explore, such as a column dedicated to stories of overcoming and personal truth. The response was positive, and she felt she was contributing to something greater, helping others find their own voices. Her work was a platform for change, a vehicle for empowerment and inspiration. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. Beyond work, Julia also engaged in a significant personal project, a blog where she shared her experiences of loss, forgiveness, and self-discovery. The blog quickly gained followers, and Julia received messages from people who felt inspired by her journey. This motivated her to continue writing, using her words to build bridges with others facing similar challenges. Her blog was a community, a space for connection and healing. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. Meanwhile, the search for her unknown brother continued. With the support of Anna and Marcos, Julia hired a private investigator to assist in the search. Although the process was slow, she was determined to find her brother and fully understand her family's story. The search was a journey of discovery, a quest for truth and belonging. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. Julia also began attending a support group for people dealing with losses and family revelations. There, she found comfort and understanding, realizing she was not alone in her journey. The stories shared in the group helped her see her own situation in a new light, reinforcing the importance of empathy and mutual support. The group was a sanctuary, a safe haven for shared experiences and growth. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. With each new step, Julia felt more complete and at peace with herself. She knew there was still much to be discovered, and that the road ahead could be challenging, but she was ready to face it with courage and determination. Her journey was a testament to the power of resilience and hope, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, growth and transformation are possible. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. Julia's new beginning was more than just a continuation. It was a transformation. She was living with purpose and authenticity, embracing each day with an open heart and a curious mind. Her journey was a celebration of life, a testament to the beauty of change and the strength of the human spirit. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. As the months passed, Julia's life took a more serene and balanced turn. The bridges she had rebuilt were stronger than ever, and her heart was at peace with the choices she had made. The blog continued to grow, and the search for her brother was progressing promisingly. Her journey was a testament to the power of resilience and hope, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, growth and transformation are possible. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. On a sunny spring day, Julia decided to visit Lara's grave. It was time to share her achievements and reaffirm the forgiveness she had found in her heart. She brought fresh flowers, Lara's favorites, and walked through the cemetery with a sense of calm. Her steps were measured, each one a reflection of her journey toward healing and acceptance. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. Upon reaching the grave, Julia sat beside it, allowing herself a moment of reflection. "Hi, Lara," she began, her voice soft. "A lot has happened since I was last here. I wanted to tell you that I'm okay. I managed to forgive, and it has brought me a peace I didn't even know I needed." Her words were a tribute, a testament to the enduring power of love and friendship. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. Julia spoke about Marcos, about how they were rebuilding their relationship with more honesty and love. She talked about the blog and how it was helping others find their own truths. And, with a smile, she mentioned the search for her brother, expressing hope that they would soon meet. Her journey was a testament to the power of resilience and hope, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, growth and transformation are possible. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. "I miss you every day," Julia confessed, tears in her eyes. "But I know you're at peace now, and that comforts me. Thank you for everything, Lara. For loving me, even when it was hard, and for teaching me so much about life, even in your absence." Her words were a farewell, a final goodbye to a cherished friend. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. Julia stayed there for a few more minutes, feeling Lara's presence beside her, as if her friend was smiling and encouraging her to continue. As she stood up, she placed the flowers on the grave, a gesture of love and remembrance. Her journey was a testament to the power of resilience and hope, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, growth and transformation are possible. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. As she walked away, Julia felt a lightness in her heart. She knew that, although the road ahead still had challenges, she was ready to face them with courage and hope. Lara would always be with her, in some way, and that was enough. Her journey was a testament to the power of resilience and hope, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, growth and transformation are possible. Julia felt a sense of empowerment, ready to face the. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment to support the channel.